What's up, guys? Josh Brikis here, BRIKDOG24 on draft. Gave a little extra camera here for this one so you guys can see what you're looking at here. Just going to kind of review like we've been doing. Week 5 was crazy and a lot of shifting in the standings, including my own teams. Just the amount of points that was happening in fantasy this week. Um, with the Fuller and Deshaun Watson connection, and then Aaron Jones and McCaffrey, and just a lot of big time points out there. So the standings shifted a lot. I actually in my 210 preseason championships, I now have 16 first place teams going here. So I had a nice boost there. I'll give you guys a little insight on where we're at. Like this, we have Deshaun 27 times. And we actually have Will Fuller 29 times. So a lot of those Deshaun's have Hopkins. Some of them have Fuller. The ones that had both, um, let's see, not that one. Shoot. Still can't figure out how to navigate on the computer. I like the app, as you guys are aware now. But we'll just pick some random ones out here and take a look. This one here is 733 points. It's been at the top each week that I've done this because I named a few of these where I had injury luck. So unfortunately in this one, I have a week 10 0 at the QB position. But I do have a 34-point lead going into week 6 now. And outside of that goose egg at the quarterback spot in week 10, not a terrible team and a nice lead there. So you can see we got McCaffrey and Ertz and Juju and Woods. We got a couple bye weeks behind us now with Marvin Jones. Eckler obviously took a little bit of a hit, but should still have a pretty good role there. Not the greatest depth in this one, but the only major injury obviously is Luck. Ross is going to miss a while. Williams, not sure what's going on with him. Ian Thomas has not really been in action yet, but the plan with him was for when Greg Olsen got hurt, for him to be a top tier tight end, and I still believe that. Although I think I'd rather have Cam Newton in there, but we shall see. So this isn't the greatest first place team. Obviously, Latavius Murray is not somebody that we want to be in that lineup, so I don't know. Eckler's down here, but not a bad team. I don't know if that one can hang on for the win, though, to be honest. So there's one right underneath it that's also in first place. Looks a lot better. It has less points, but just look at the talent here. I mean, you have the top quarterback and 2 of the top 5 running backs right there. You're getting Tyreek back here for the combo, and then Lockett, DJ Moore. I don't know what's going on with Evan Ingram, if he's going to play. He's limited yesterday, so maybe he'll play. It's a short week. That's the only problem there. And Fournette. So we went obviously 3 running backs here in the draft, and then probably Mahomes. But regardless, Kamara, Cook, Fournette. I mean, this team is stacked, and it's already in first place. So nice combos there. Injuries are a little concerning, especially if Ingram doesn't play. I will take a goose egg because I have Njoku, so that one does hurt at tight end. But we have Brady. Moncrief might actually get back in the action now that Jalen Samuels and James Washington are banged up. Another combo here for Mahomes. Edmonds might get the ball now a little more than he already has been. He's actually been producing, and now David Johnson's a little banged up. So not a bad depth team here. You got Marquise Brown still, but really solid in here. And if Tyreek comes back, watch out for this team. This guy is 36 or so behind us, and we haven't really taken a look at some other people's teams, so maybe we'll do a little bit of that. See how they're looking. I like to see if they got guys that are out. I mean, you got useless Anthony Miller, really. Nick Foles, useless for a while. But other than you got Lamar Miller. Other than that, not too bad. Herndon's coming back. Oh, he's got a big, a big useless one here with Antonio. So he's got some spots. Let's see, his quarterback is Russell Wilson and Derek Carr. Raiders are on a bye week this week, so we only got Russell Wilson this week. So we take Antonio out of there and slide in one of these guys, John Brown or something, and then not too bad. He's got nice running backs. Gordon's back now, so that really helps, obviously, and he's got Ingram and Carson. So I guess Carson's going to keep doing it. They're feeding him the ball. They like him there. So that's what's chasing me. Wendy Witch is in a ton of my drafts. Looks like, they're going to get a boost here with Saquon. I don't think that that's going to be any significance this year. Howard's been terrible. But they have Deshaun, Sutton, Godwin, Marlon Mack, Derrick Henry. That's all been good for them. This is good for us. 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 A lot of duds in there, but pretty good team, especially if Saquon comes back to compete with us there. Let's scroll down. We got lots of first place teams now. I have lots of top 3 teams as well. I have some teams that are up in like 700 that aren't even in first place. So goes to show you how much points got boosted last week with the people that had Aaron Jones. Speaking of Aaron Jones, let's see the ownership on him. I don't have him a ton, but we're in the wrong one here. That is, we'll get to those too. Baseball ownership, running back, Aaron Jones. I'll just type it in. 15 times for Aaron Jones. We'll take a look at one of him in the mega here. 589, 110 out of first. This team has Deshaun and Aaron Jones, so you can imagine where I was at prior to this week in this league, but got a nice little boost. Getting Henry back, I think, hopefully soon. If he practices this week, that would be really nice. But Aaron Jones, Watson, Hopkins is going to start picking it up. I mean, if that line starts protecting Deshaun and the combos start falling for Hopkins, and then that'll be even better. Got Gallup back, Deshaun eventually, Herndon's back. This team is starting to pick up the pace here. Darnold's back. There was a lot of guys that weren't getting anything for this team, and we're only 110 out, so I like the way that this team is lining up with Henry and all these guys coming back. Cooks is now hurt, but so that one's pretty good for where it's at. Let's take a look at another team that's in first. Maybe we got a Joel. Here's one in second, 650 points. And the guy ahead of us is only ahead by 35. We just got Melvin Gordon back. We have Cook, Watson. Cooks is in the concussion thing. We have Ridley and Fuller who are stepping it up. Aaron Jones, and that's why we got a bolt all the way up. We were probably down in here, and we got a nice jolt here. We got this. This is one of the few teams you'll probably see with Deshaun, Fuller, and Aaron Jones last week. That's like 150 points in itself, plus Dalvin Cook. So yeah, that team is nice there right now. This guy's killing me. He's my highest owned running back, and he was inactive this week. And all these, Kansas City ran the ball 9 times. 9 times. Give this dude a chance. I don't know what Andy Reid's doing. He's usually a one-back guy. Now he's got the committee thing going on, and it's not working out. You know, they're losing games. They're not passing for a bunch of touchdowns anymore, and certainly aren't running the ball very well. So maybe Darwin will get in there this week. Who knows? Fitz this week's going to be huge. I got him in some of my early week 6 single-week drafts. Traquan will be better when Breeze gets back. Not that Bridgewater's playing terrible, but Traquan was hurt, and I just obviously think he'll be. Oh wait, did he get hurt again? Oh, ankle injury. Oh jeez, we got to check in on Traquan. I don't know. So that is where we're at on that team. Let's see. We got a second place team with 665. Well, look at this one, 771. And I don't even have that big. I mean, it's a nice lead, but geez, this guy's got to be not so happy. He's not in first with 713, but wow, 771 would be. You saw how many teams I have in first. They're in the 6s, so that should be a lot bigger cushion there. But this guy obviously has a good team, so let's look at his team first. Jacob's on a bye week this week. He's got a nice team here. And Kill Harry is no good, but Out Howard Eckler. Yeah, he's got a wow. He doesn't really have any injuries or anything. So other than Harry, who will be back later in the year, yeah, that team we got to watch out for. Let's see how good our 771 is. We got C-Mac and Cook. That's killer. We got a nice stack here with Dak and Cooper with some big games there. Galladay with the bye week behind him. Allen Robinson, Doyle and White. We have Fuller. Can't even get up on here on the list here with Fuller. Projected points, I think, is how they have him for the week. But so we have, I don't know, we got 2 Houston receivers with no Deshaun. That's interesting. Jalen's now out for a month, so that doesn't help. Funchess, I think, is out for the year for a while. Hunt will be back later. We'll see because Chubb is like the best. So we got Cobb on a backup stack for Dak in this one. So not too bad. Armstead's obviously, if something were to happen to Fournette, I mean, Armstead could be just absolutely huge the way that the amount of times they're feeding Fournette. So if he were to miss any time, I think Armstead could be pretty big, and I got a good amount of him as well. But this team looks pretty solid. I mean, look at this. These guys, this crew right here is solid, and then you got enough guys to get plugged in there. So shouldn't drop too far off in that one. Hopefully, we'll continue the climb to winning that one. What else we got going on here? A lot of 9ths, 11ths, 8. Yeah, those aren't any good. But again, I don't think a lot of those were as low in the same sense that some of mine jumped up to the top. Other guys jumped up with their monster weeks where the teams that I didn't have, those big scorers last week, are going to be the teams that fell the other way because the guys that had them jumped up above us. So quite a crazy fantasy week, and it doesn't happen too often with that many big scores, but it sure shakes up the standings. There's a first place 691 in the mini with a small lead and Andrew Luck. We got McCaffrey, Gurley, Godwin, Galladay, Luck, and Funchess. I don't even have Luck that much, but it seems like we click on his teams sometimes. I think I have him like 11 times. Ingram got, okay. Mac, we got Breeze and Luck in this one. And Winston is on a bye, next week? And Breeze won't be back. So, yeah, that team's going to go down a little bit. What else we got? Look at this. 12, 12, 10, 10, 9, 8, 11. Need some of these guys that I got large ownerships of to boost up. But the other thing is the bye weeks are going to kick in. So, some of the ones that are behind, well, the standings are going to change a lot. It's really about your points. Like this team does not look good, obviously 498. But if you have a 10th place team that's only 80 out of first or something, that's not that bad. But these 498 teams are tough. But like here, 633 for 4th. That's a pretty nice number for 4th place. So I'm not too worried about that. This seems to be right in the mix too, right in the middle there. So we'll take a look at this team. As you can see, it's a pretty decent team outside of Antonio. Kirk will be back eventually, but you got Kyler and Russell. Multiple stacks in this one with Kirk and then Russell and DK. And yeah, we got a couple bombs here. We got 3 duds in this. Antonio Brown and none Jordan Thomas. Those hurt for sure. So got a nice solid core here, but not enough depth maybe to get us up any higher in that one. We'll see. So this isn't terrible here. 10th place. It's in the mini. It's 130 out of first place. So here's, for example, this one is in 11th and it's 180 out. So 50-point difference right there. And this one's 539 and that's 170 out. This one's only 60 points out and it's in fifth place. So it's really about your points, not necessarily the standings. It's about your points, your bye weeks, and your injuries. And, whether you have a chance or not. I would say something like this doesn't have a chance, but something like, this one might. So it's 699, 507. It's highly unlikely. I mean, I got Saquon coming back. Shepard's hurt now, though. But I don't have a whole lot of, Trubisky's hurt. It doesn't really matter. You can't make any moves or anything, but just to worry about which ones you want to sweat and how nervous you want to get about losing the money or winning the money. But some of these teams, like this, is in 5th place with 626. I mean, that team, obviously, if we look at it and it's a decent team, they could very well win that league. You know, you're right in the mix. They're 40 points out of first, but we have Andrew Luck, no good, and Funchess and Foreman, and Anunwa and Darwin. Yeah, see, that's going to be a hard one. Even though it's right in the mix, it's going to be hard to climb the ladder with that team. You got Kyler, and I guess that's it, huh? Yep, Kyler at quarterback the whole way there. So how do we keep clicking on teams that have Andrew Luck? Somehow the teams that have Andrew Luck in are like not that far out, which is crazy. But all right, here's a second and a first. 667 in second, 35 or so out of first. Nice core team here. We got the Goff Woods connection. We got Zeke and Cook. Lockett. Robbie's going to start picking it up. Don't worry about Robbie. He had his bye week. Darnold's back. And he's also faced some really tough cornerback competition. So he's got all that behind him. The Darnold injury, the bye week, and the tough matchups. Robbie's definitely a buy low candidate for season longs. Pretty solid here. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on with Goff. Everett, Reynolds, if he ever gets in there for an injury. Actually, Cooks is hurt this week, so this is why you drafted Josh Reynolds. If Cooks misses a game, Reynolds might get in the end zone this week. He's proven he can do that, so that's why we got him. Garoppolo, Coleman, Samuel, all these guys with their bye weeks behind them. So that's helpful. Same with Robbie Anderson. So this team I like. I mean, I like the core. I like the combo stacks that we have. I like the bye weeks behind us. We lucked out with this guy. We have him a few times, and he's now in Cleveland. I think when we drafted him, he was probably in Arizona, but now he's getting a few points there. So Everett with a nice week last week. All right, 741 on this mini, and that's a big lead there. Look at that. Big lead, 70-point lead here. And I mean, that's killer. You got the Matt Ryan Ridley connection with Devonta, who hasn't really done anything. But look at these running backs. My goodness. McCaffrey and Chubb might be the 2 best backs in the league or close to it. So to have 2 of them is nice. Ryan's putting up big numbers. Galladay's on his behind his bye weeks behind him. Vance McDonald's back from his injury. Oh, we got Ben and Stafford. Stafford bye week behind him. We got Ben and Ryan, so no zeros there with the Ben. We can still get points at quarterback every week. We lost that combo, and the Vance McDonald combo with Ben, but we still have. We're pretty good here. I mean, if Darwin can get in there, this team's not bad. Hardman's in there. Hyde still a starter. Sutton. This team's pretty good, and it's got. I'd be shocked if this team doesn't hang on for a while and probably win this. But I mean, it is only week 6 we're starting on here, but. With that kind of lead, 70-some points, and this kind of team, I think we're in pretty good shape in that one. All right, take a look at some duds or just one more good one, and then we'll. I'm going to look at the $19, the $33 actually. I'll take a look at this last one here. The theme that you're noticing with a lot of these teams are that they almost all have solid running backs. It's just crazy how the running backs have really performed this year. I think last couple of years, there's always busts, and there's a lot of injuries, obviously. And this year, quite different. The running backs are just killing it. All of them are. So that's a nice one there. We got the Kyler, Kirk, Fitzgerald triple stack if Kirk comes back. We got these monsters that are hit or miss. As you can see, Evans doesn't do anything. Then he has 41. So, but that's good for best ball. Godwin just killing it every week almost. O.J. Howard's a bum, which I guess he can't really do much when these guys are. But I mean, it's just crazy with the amount of points that they put up, and then he just doesn't. He's never a part of it. So we do have Winston too. So we got Winston in there with all these Tampa Bay guys. So that's why this team's in first, because they've had some monster weeks that they get plugged in, and then McCaffrey just does it every week. Henry's good enough every week as well. And this team's pretty good. Pretty good. We got Benny Snell on this one. And Jalen Samuels is out for a month. So who knows what happens with that. But not a bad team there. All right. So if you guys happen to do any of, we've talked about these a little bit, but if you did any of the week 5 starts, They were $33, and I believe it's 50 grand the first. It's week 5 to 12, so we're 1 week in now. So I want to take a look and see how we did so far on those, because we just drafted these after we already knew all the injuries and stuff. So we shouldn't have a whole lot of major injuries unless we drafted them on purpose, knowing that they're going to come back or whatever. So I'm in 19 of these, and I believe I got a lot of seconds. You can see there. I think I have 2 or 3 firsts. There's 1, 2 maybe it looks like. But I see a lot of top 3s there. So out of 19, let's see how many top 3s we got. 1, 2, 3, 4 down there. 5, 6, 7. All right, we got 7 top 3s out of 19 leagues, and that's after 1 week. If you guys remember how much I talked about Breida, and how often I took him, I think he's probably my highest owned player. He is 12 of my 19 leagues. And what did he do the first time he touched the ball on Monday night? Boom, 80-some yard touchdown. So that was nice because he topped it off with some more yards and another receiving touchdown later in the game. So that was good. So he's involved on most of these teams. Here's a first place team with 158 after week 1. Dak. Now, keep in mind, we drafted these knowing that it was starting week 5 and knowing we're getting guys with their bye weeks behind them. I mean, it was a bigger advantage, I think, than a lot of people, really considered. So look at my 2 running backs now. I mean, I got Lev and Breida, and both their bye weeks are behind them, and they've already played a week for me. So, that's really beneficial because a lot of these other guys are going to have Josh Jacobs this week, and different guys that are on bye weeks that they can't get anything from, or we're not going to have that problem here with these guys. Dak, Cooper, Stack, and Cooper Kupp also. Kirk, again, I love Kirk, obviously. That injury, I hope he comes back soon because his floor is pretty nice and his ceiling is pretty high. So we need Tyrell to come back as well. Coleman's in there in case, Breida or him end up having the bigger game. I got both of them in this one. I didn't do that in every one, but not too bad. We took Drew Brees because we have, I believe, 3 quarterbacks in this one. Daniel Jones and Dak Prescott. So we're expecting Brees back in a few weeks, and that's why we took him, because he was going real late. Devin Smith, I don't know about. Darius Slayton, now with Shepard hurt and Slayton scored this week. So I have the Daniel Jones, Darius Slayton stack there if it happens to produce enough for us. This one hurts. I mean, he got hurt, and it hurts because I think I only have him once, but on this particular team it hurts because these guys are on a bye this week, Ebron, and I have Hunter Henry. So I thought I'd be safe with 3 tight ends, and I only needed this guy, James. I never say his last name, O'Shaughnessy or whatever. I only needed him to play this coming week, and he's out. So I'm going to take a 0 tight end, and that stinks. But Hunter Henry will be back eventually, and I think he's out for the year, ACL, yeah. So that stinks because we needed 1 week for him to get in there, and now he's not, so that one hurts. And it's my first place team. Here's a second place team that has more points than this, or about the same, 160. But this guy just absolutely killed it up here ahead of us. McCaffrey, Godwin, Chark, Fuller. He doesn't even have Aaron Jones or Deshaun Watson, but he still scored 229. All right, 160. This team looks pretty solid. Real solid. Happy with that one. Darnold coming back, Henry back eventually. Yeah, pretty solid there. 163 on this one. Wow. Deshaun Cook. We drafted pretty good, guys. We drafted pretty good. Let's take a look at one that we screwed up pretty bad. Let's see. I just saw one low, so I just want to see. 138, 117, 114, 117. All right, 107 is our lowest. Let's see how we messed this one up. First place is 180. We're in 8th with 107 after 1 week. Well, let's see. Well, we got Russell and Lockett. Didn't do too much this week, so that's part of it. But I mean, this team isn't that bad for only scoring 107. They just didn't have a huge week. Still a guy that I like if he gets a chance. Got to figure out what's going on with him and the injuries. Same with these guys. So that's, we got guys, a lot of guys with the bye weeks behind him. Again, Robbie and Crowder. But not a bad team here for 107. I mean, I don't hate how I drafted that team or anything. Let's take a look at some of the other low point ones and see what we messed up in. 114, 175 is in first. McCoy just didn't get the ball this week. Tyreek's coming back. Look at them receivers. If Tyreek's back, we have the 3 best receivers in this league, I would imagine. Keenan, Thomas, and Tyreek. That's pretty sick. Lamar Jackson did not get Marquise Brown in this one. Ronald Jones starting to come on. He didn't do anything this last week, but I think people starting to believe that he's going to be the man there, but we'll see. Robbie, bye week behind him. Sutton, I like. Deontay, I don't know what's going on with Mason. He's in the protocol. He probably won't play this week. I mean, we have a bye week next week, so I would imagine he starts back week 8, but we'll see, because Steelers are 1-4, so. What else? Wow, we got Kyle Allen. How about that? Guess I bet you that's the only time I have him, and it's probably just an in case type deal. We have Lamar, Mason Rudolph, and it might need an in case. When's Baltimore's bye week? Week 8. Oh boy. Well, we're gonna need Mason or Kyle to play that week if we want any shot at winning this one. Gallman's out, so we got any one of these bench guys to get in there. But pretty solid and long. It depends on McCoy, really, for this one. Depends on McCoy because our running backs are kind of light there. So, all right, that's that. One more thing I usually go over is the week 6 or the weekly drafts. So, if we recall from last week, I think I had 18 drafts. I got, where are we at here? Was it 18? I got 5 of them through. These are the 5. So not like too bad, but some of these are in the 3rd round now, which is nice. I did cash out and some of the ones that I had hit from this week that paid out because they didn't move on. So I had a couple $100 from that, but these are the ones that are moving on. And then also I've already maxed my 1st and 10s and my 3rd and shorts. I think I told you guys I'm not doing the hype train till they change it. I don't think it's worth trying to beat 7 people every week for less money, but to each their own. So 3rd and shorts, 6-man drafts. You can see who I like this week with the matchups. Obviously, Lamar for a bounce back week and against the Bengals. I'm all about it. Dalvin Cook, I don't care who he's playing. Took a shot on Gurley. You know what? I actually am looking at this and I remember screwing this one up as it happened. I had Cup and I took Gurley. And clearly, I don't like to do that too often, but you know what? If you look at their stats, fantasy-wise, he's had 17, 22 the last 2 weeks. Now here he didn't, but 17 and 22 the last 2 weeks, and at the same time, Cup had 22, 22. So it's possible that they can both score. I just probably wouldn't have done that had I remembered that I had Cup when I took Gurley. I love Fitz versus Atlanta's defense. I mean, they're a team that I'm going to start targeting for weeklies until they prove otherwise, but I think that's either going to be a shootout or, regardless, the over-under is probably pretty high, and the pass defense for the Falcons is just non-existent. So I feel like Fitz should have a pretty good game there, and even though he's projected lower and he's down on the thing, you can get him in the last round. He's just somebody that I've been taking, so I took him here again. Obviously, always high on Cup. Took a shot on Mixon and Carson in this one, and Lamar again. Carson, I mean, it's just the amount of carries he's getting. You know, I mean that's. I thought that Penny would get in there, but you just, you know, we've said this before, but opportunity equals points, and if he's going to get the ball 22 and 27 times, he's going to get points. That's a pretty low floor. Pretty high floor there for Carson if he's getting the ball that many times, and he does have a high ceiling. So, and the Browns stink. So, all of that combined, and that equals take Carson where he's going in these things because everyone else is taking all the other backs. So, Derrick Henry I like every week. Same thing, volume 20. minimum, pretty much 20 carries a week. Love Michael Thomas. I don't care who he's playing, kind of like Dalvin Cook. And I love the Matt Ryan Julio combo in this 6-man. Don't do it a whole lot, but I tell you what, I actually did it in a 4-man and a 6-man this week. That's how much I like the matchup there with the Atlanta going against Arizona's D. Julio also coming off of the week that he just had. I mean, this is just it just seems almost like a lock that that's going to be a big game for Julio and Matt Ryan against that defense. So we'll see. Again, Matt Ryan, Michael Thomas, Cooper Kupp, Lev in this one. Who did Dallas just play this past week? I can't remember, but well, here. Oh yeah, they just played Green Bay. Aaron Jones. So Aaron Jones just took them to the house. I feel like Lev should have a nice game against Dallas's run D, but the other guys are pretty standard here for me. Dalvin Cook again, Henry, Kyler against Atlanta. Took him once for the same reason that I've been taking Fitz. Some nice receivers here. And Nick Chubb, you just can't go wrong with him and Fournette. I mean, they're in the volume and talent. Deshaun against Kansas City. Definitely have him a few times. Nice matchup again here. I think if Julio doesn't do it, Ridley's going to, unless maybe they both do. So he's a guy you can get in the last round as well. 5 wide was the only one I've done so far. I just don't want to keep firing too much on these. I wish that there was a bigger prize pool, but you only have to beat 3 people, and it's nice because you double your money. It's $55 buy-in, and pretty good payouts if you can get the first week win. So I did one. I can do 3 more, but as of right now, I haven't been doing them every week. I maxed the first and 10s. It cost me $40 to do 4 of them, and I maxed the third and shorts, which cost $18 to do 6 of them. And unless they change the hype train, those are the only 2 I'm doing, and then I'll sprinkle the 5 wides in here. But I don't know if I'm ready to spend the $220 every week on 4 of the 5 wides, but maybe. If we cash big on something else and don't have to deposit, then that's a different story. But so this is my 4-man team. Obviously, it looks a lot stronger. This is a $55 one, and I'm pretty excited about that. Again, I don't normally do stacks and 4-mans, but I feel like if there were one you're going to do, this is a prime time week to do it against Arizona's D and Jones coming off that weak game that he just had. And Matt Ryan, the way that he's playing fantasy-wise, is good. So 2 top-tier running backs with Cook and Elliott, and then Hopkins against that defense coming off of where Will Fuller was the main focus. I feel like DeAndre, I mean, he got 8 targets. He gets 7 a week every week. It's just he hasn't gotten in the end zone, which is what the reason that he's not really getting huge numbers. Also, not a lot of big yards, but a little bit better this week, and a great matchup. And you can't go wrong this week with Deshaun, Hopkins, and probably Fuller as well. I just feel like maybe Deshaun wants to get DeAndre into the end zone. So we'll see. Showing you guys all my lineups, but they're all similar players. I threw Fuller in that one. Who did I call last week? I called Thielen on to you guys on the video last week, and I said it's just a feel. So I only took him in that one draft, and I remember showing you guys and telling you, and he ended up doing it. So yeah, the feel was right. But anyway, so that's it, guys. I appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel. It's Brikis Breaks on YouTube, and we're gonna keep doing these videos for you, and I'd appreciate it. So thanks, guys. Check out my website as well. Sports cards every month. It is in the links in the comments in the video. So check that out. Subscribe. I appreciate it. Peace.